Hello. Right. Welcome to the new look. Hopefully. Oh, I need to sort that camera out. That's not as seamless as I thought it would be. Let me sort that close cam for a second. I'm going to zoom in. There we go. Hopefully you can hear me okay. We haven't muted the microphone for once by accident. We're into the last 3 miniatures. We have the Dwarf, the Wizard, and the Gargoyle to go. So I thought I'd crack on and we'll do the Wizard, I think. Now the colour scheme I'm going to go for is blues and yellows. If and when anyone does appear in the chat, do let me know. Do say hello. Always nice to know we're working and everything's... You can see everything okay, you can hear everything okay. If anyone else does drop in, I hope everyone's well in this crazy lockdown time. Anyone out there? Anyone want to say hello? Let's tell me what you're up to. Don't be shy.
Disconnected. Connected to mobile device.
I'm just going to use the wraith bone to tidy up a few little areas, such as just there on the cloak. Don't know what choice to do the trousers in yet. We'll come to that one. I've got some gold to do. I've got that. The staff's the next easiest thing to do, really. So I'm just going to make that wood with wildwood. I'll probably do the top of that staff in a gold or something. Right. So I need all this to dry around here before I stick in the white, because otherwise it's just going to run. So it probably is a good time to do those trousers. So what complements between a yellow and a blue? I'm going to go with an orange. I like him being quite colourful. He is a wizard. I could argue it's supposed to be skin colour. I don't know if this is meant to be clothing or his legs, but then he's just wearing a cod piece, so it's a tough one. And my wizard's wearing like leggings. Like I say, it's hard to just chat away to yourself, so if anyone out there just wants to say hello even, it's always a good place to start. Just so I don't think I'm going completely insane. Need those to dry really. So let's grab some gold and do various little pieces. Yeah. Alexa, announce. Love you all very much too. Bye. No. Alexa, announce. I love you all too. Bye. No one's watching, so I can send soppy messages on Alexa. So we're going to do these up as gems later on. We'll paint those as gems, the same as this ring on his finger here. This little, we'll get some of the old gem paint on there. So I actually spent the last few days also sorting out my actual stream. So new notifications for like followers and stuff. New start screen, new end screen. Which I thought was very cool.
device.
What happened to the music? Go back to that in a sec. Right, there's a bit more of this gold on his. God's sake, I hate doing eyes. I'm going to correct both of those. Not sure what else I'll do to him. Hey, Amanda. I think it's just you and me, I think. Yeah, I've done a bit of work. I've done some new overlays, some new alerts. So all in this kind of very retro. I'm a very big fan of sort of 80s and retro and cyberpunk and all that sort of stuff. So yes, I'll give you an example. Here's the new follow. Let me pop your follow. If we go for a follow. It does that. So yeah, got some new stuff going on. Got some new images and bits and pieces for a bit of fun. As I thought, being as I made it to affiliate, I should probably try and do something a bit nicer with the stream. So yeah, I've got a new starting screen, new ending screen, all sorts of bits and bobs. Bob Ross. Hi, Talon. Yeah, so I've been painting this guy up so far. I'm quite happy with the way he's turned out. It's been quite lonely. No one's been in. You're the first people to come and say hello. I know it's a busy night. There's lots of other streams going on. Yes, I know he does the. I wouldn't normally. Obviously, we don't have I don't have a schedule or anything. I just stream when I'm going to sit down and paint. So I wouldn't normally try and clash with someone who's already streaming from Beasts of War, but that's all right. He's going for everyone's project, isn't he? Which is nice. Has he just finished, has he? So, I would like a flesh tone, that's what I want. Oh, cool, let's have a look. Oh yes, I did see that actually, yeah. I found that very interesting. As someone who's a bit of a, not a skeptic, but have a bit of a worry about ruining miniatures with varnishing. I think it showed that actually if all you do is a matte varnish, it doesn't really protect him at all. Although I must admit, since I've been using this new varnish I'm using, I've not had any problems. But yeah, I'll have a quick look again, because if I remember rightly, you sort of did scratch tests on everything, didn't you? I like the picture. I have no idea what I'm doing. Just paint, no varnish. This was the gloss varnish. Yeah, it doesn't say much for pure matte varnish, does it? Yeah, so I've now found a half decent spray matte varnish, but okay, yeah, well, that's what I've been using this stuff. I think I've showed you guys. I think I've shown you before It's nothing special, but it's from sort of our local hobby shop. Well, it's hobby craft. So it's this stuff. Yeah. Who's it called? Yeah. Anyway, that's what I use, and it's about £6 or £7, I think. And unlike GW's one, I haven't had any horrific issues, and it goes alright. So I've got all the other ones. I've got a big old bottle of the Vallejo acrylic matte varnish, and a big bottle of the gloss one as well. Never actually used it. And then I've also got the AK interactive varnish as well, which is supposed to be the. I don't know, was this in your test? Because this stuff's supposed to be like the best. But again, that's through an airbrush, right? So. Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah. I shall have a proper read through it. Maybe I'll run the test with that. I'll do what you've done. I'll paint a flat surface or something. I'll spray it with this, and give it a scratch test. See what happens. Because that's cheap. That stuff. Oh, okay. That's a good idea. Yeah, it's supposed to be very, very good, isn't it? Anyway, I think the wizard, although most people missed the entire process, I think the wizard is done. Here he is next to his sort of barbarian compadre. Yes, Talon. So it's majority with the heroes. I have been highlighting with normal paints, but everything I've painted in the HeroQuest range. If you look at my Instagram, you'll see lots of pictures of all of the HeroQuest original box and the 2 expansions, Return of the Witch Lord and Keller's Keep. The whole lot is painted in contrast paint. It's just the heroes and then key figures. So the sorcerer, I'm going to do the gargoyle with contrast paint, and then do a layer on top with normal layer paints. Yeah, just to make them look a bit sort of a bit more special. Because obviously these guys are on the table for significantly longer. So so there's the elf. Yeah, so you've got the elf, the wizard, and then the dwarf is last. So we'll do that. We'll start the dwarf now, and then the gargoyle is actually the last miniature in the entire HeroQuest project that I've got going on. So let me tidy up paints, and then we'll chuck some paint down on the dwarf. It's nice to have some people here to talk to. So welcome. I hope everyone's okay. I hope everyone's well. Oh, sorry about that. Then he had a. Oh. Teach me to knock it with my hand, won't it? Let me just get that back to where it needs to be. Yeah. Good, that's good to hear, Talon. Yeah, I know. And take each day as it comes. You always come in for a chat. I do like that test though. That was a much needed little project you've done there. So that's done the hobby community some good. We needed that, as I'm always worried I should be varnishing. Right. So yeah, something else I'm consciously trying to do as well is give the heroes each a bit of character in their colour, so that because obviously they are board game pieces still. So these are all distinctive colours. So you've got green and brown, you've got sort of yellows and blues, and then you've got this kind of, well, because he's mostly flesh, that sort of flesh and white. So when I do the dwarf now, I still want to make him different in sort of colour palette to the rest of them. Although he's mostly wearing armour, so I'm feeling like he's going to be a lot of maybe silver and bronzes. Sorry, I just need to blow my nose for a sec. I should have set up a button to mute my microphone quickly, but I need to set up an extra button. Yeah, so I've spent some time jazzing up the picture you're looking at. So we've got nice new frames when I go into between cameras. So look, if I change camera, I'm going to change camera quickly. Ready? Whoa. And then I'm on the big camera. Hello. And then we can go back. Ready? Whoa. And we're back again on a different camera. Yeah, we've got new alerts, so if someone follows or subscribes or anything like that, we've got some new alerts going on. Yeah. Got new start and stop screens, we've got all sorts. Why not? Why not? Okay, right. Now I would classically do a ginger beard, but I can't give him a ginger beard because the barbarian has got red hair. So I'm afraid you're going to be a classic brown hair because no one's got brown hair yet. We're going to go with leather boots. They've all got their various leather boots on. So we're going to go leather boots. And then we've got metals. This little cherub face. Yeah, to be honest, there's not. And then we'll have some gold trimmings down here and stuff. We'll put like gold links in his beard. Yeah, so I'm feeling like he's going to be lots of silvers, golds, and bronzes. So probably not a lot of. So thinking about it, not a lot of contrast, which is interesting. Let's start with those first, because then we can tidy up the contrasts. So. Got the perfect skin tone. It's actually called Fireslayer Flesh. Could do grey, but the dwarf, the wizard's got grey hair. The only colour hair I haven't got is actually classic brown. So he will get some brown. Oh, this Fireslayer. How about an orange beard? It feels so cool. Give me that orange beard. Pink. It must be pink. It's always pink with you, Amanda. If in doubt, it's pink. So that's it. That's as much as face you're going to see. That's his face. Wow. I know. It's a taboo. I have a feeling this won't take very long, this miniature. So Talon, are you hobbying yourself? Not sure if I've seen you here before. If it's just the first time here, I think if your name rings a bell. I think you have been here before. Oh, there you go. That's enough. If you got a lot of, if you got pink walls, that's enough pink to be looking at. That's a lot of pink. Oh, awesome. Well, first of all, thank you for coming and chilling out with me. That's an awesome thing to do. Welcome. You're very welcome. And please do send me some pictures or something of what you're working on, because that sounds awesome. You can post links here, no problem. It's a very chilled out area. I am no way, shape or form good, but I try hard and we have fun. And we chill out and we paint and we chat. Most of the people that come in here are from a community called Beasts of War, which is beastsofwar.com. If you don't know about it, take a look at it. It's also known as ontabletop.com. We're all sort of members of that. Actually, quite a few people that come here are also aware of that. Some aren't, that's cool. Some just come across me on Twitch and stuff. Right, so this is going to be, that's Helmet, that's got a hair, that's his sticky out ears. He's got some sticky out ears. Ah, brilliant. Great guys. I know them both very well. Met many times. Jerry is in my D&D group, and Warren is just an awesome bloke that runs a very cool company. Where the hell did that come from? I just did his ears in the completely wrong colour. Whoops. Ah, DRS models. I'm sure I've heard of that. Let me DRS. I've got the page there. I'm pretty sure I've heard of it, and I should also have a look at it as well later on when I'll leave it on the screen. Yeah, they're a really cool bunch of guys, and they do really cool stuff. And they've got a really cool community as well. I shall. Well, feel free to link it, my friend.
Disconnected.
And I should also have a look. You'll probably see my project on there as well for this exact thing that I'm painting now. This HeroQuest set, because that is also on there. That makes sense.
Connected to mobile device.
Well, it's good to hear you're able to still operate in some way. And if that's getting work done for when we all come out the other side of this, then that's great. Yes, man, that does. Yeah. I mean that project system. There is no shortage of if you want to see what a whole group of hobbyists are up to. There is no shortage on that site. I will be kicking off my next one once this finishes. I haven't 100% decided yet, but I think it's going to be Frostgrave. I don't know. But I should finish this week. Potentially even tomorrow. If I can stream again tomorrow, which is looking like at the moment, it looks like I can probably stream almost every day. No, it's one of those games that I've owned for an awful long time. Own a whole bunch of miniatures for, and obviously you can use any kind of miniatures, so you don't have to have, official. Well, there are officials, but not. You don't need to use those. So, given that there's a new edition coming out, I thought I play and paint mostly for my children. So, I've got 4 kids. I got into the hobby about 5 years ago, coming up to 5 years ago. As a way to, one, give me something to do other than work, 2, to have some way to sort of connect to the kids when they grow up, and they just want to still play a game with their dad, chuck some dice around, that sort of thing. And also while they're young, get them off computers, get them thinking and playing more strategic games, bit of maths involved, bit of strategy involved. So yeah, I paint. And then we play together. And HeroQuest is one of the games that I've owned since a kid, and figured why not during this period of lockdown, don't I paint it? And here we are. Chuck some dice at their dad and stuff. Yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Although they do regularly beat me at everything. Especially my 3rd eldest, James. He's got a bit of Justin, like he's an alpha striker. So he'll play a game and then he'll spend the rest of his time min-maxing and thinking about. And for a 12-year-old, he knows what he's doing. And then before I know it, he's just wiping the floor with me. So yeah, I like the idea of that kind of campaign where your characters get a bit better and you can, if they die, they could potentially properly die, and then you've got to sort of hire a new guy or new henchman or whatever. That's quite cool. And yeah, I understand there's a new edition coming out relatively soon, so I've got a bit of time. To get myself, to build a couple of warbands, because I'll have to build a couple for the kids and one for me. But pretty sure a Frostgrave warband is maybe 5 or 6 miniatures, so it's not so bad. Yeah, and they've actually started as well now. So my James, who I just talked about, and then his younger brother Blake, who's 9, they've just started painting. So James had painted a little bit before, but never really got into it. Oh, thanks, Qual HD. Yeah, so there you go. Wizard and Apprentice. So at max, you're talking 10. And I assume you don't need that for game 1, because I assume that's what you could build up to once you've kind of got your team where it needs to be. But even that's not many, right? So yeah, so they've both started painting, so they can also do their own if they wanted to. They could paint their own dudes. Dude. Okay, right. Now I am going to go for a bit of a deep blue. Where am I? I might go for a red. A deep red as kind of the undershirt to his chainmail. There isn't much of it, but because this model is going to be lots of red, sorts of darkish colours, if I stick a red undershirt on him, it will. I'm just thinking as a board piece, it will actually have a bit of colour. So I'm going to make this his colour of his undershirt. So tell him, what's the sort of ranges of models and stuff you do? What's your bag? What are you into? Yes, I've seen that, Qual, yes. I think I have it. I think. Pretty sure I have a box of made up soldiers good to go, and I'm pretty sure that box came from that range. I just don't have the box, but I have all the men, and I'm pretty sure it was like a box of just bodies, legs, and all sorts of different weapons and lanterns and a random array of stuff. There you go. It's not much shirt, but it's a bit of an undershirt so that he isn't just lots of metal. Yeah, a lot of options. I'm pretty sure that is what I've got. And at least now when you look at the dwarf straight on with the other characters, you've kind of got the green, the blue and the white, and then you've got the red. So they'll look like you know what colour piece you are, almost. That's what I'm doing that for. Right, we're now going to grab Black Templar and do all of the armour in Black Templar, and then we will go over it with some other options. Music stopped for some reason. Let me Anyone else working on anything at the moment? Forget you can always chuck a link in. I guess everyone's had the work reviewed in the what's it called? Is it called the Hobby Hangout? Project review. So was it Sundancer and Jerry tonight, was it? The unofficial Hobby Hangout, that's right. Wow, collecting since you were 13, you thought it. Wow, okay. Oh, awesome. Yeah, the whole 3D printing your own minis and stuff like that, especially now resin printers are out. I've got 2 FDM printers, but I'm probably not far off getting a resin one. I think once the world calms down a little bit, I shall certainly pick one up. But yeah, that's a booming area now. You've got all the various Patreon companies out there, well, putting themselves on Patreon to release miniatures regularly and all sorts. Jerry was saying, I've got an AnyCubic Mega S. I think that's right, yeah. And then my very first one, they're both in the corner over there, if you look over my shoulder. And then I've got the Flash Forge Finder, which is my first one, which is about 4 years old now, but still runs. The AnyCubic is definitely higher quality and has a much bigger print bed. It has a heated bed, all those mod cons that you kind of expect these days. But the first one was before all of that stuff was really out there. The one thing it has got that none others have is auto leveling. You press a button on that thing and it does everything. It really is the idiot's 3D printer. But it has got a tiny little print bed. Yeah. It's one of the things that it's a small thing, and it does it in minutes as well. So I could just turn it on, press auto leveling, and when I press go, I don't have any problems. Where the AnyCubic, you've got to do the whole one sheet of paper thing, go up and down, level it, go back, level it again. Hey, level it again, because the worst thing that can happen is you find out that it's not quite right. So I still use them both all the time. I've been printing off. I've been doing a table for Flames of War. So 15mm scaled houses, etc. for a Normandy table, which is pretty much all the printing's done now. It's just a painting to go. But FDM's not really good enough for, well, I don't think it's good enough. And maybe I could just use some education for printing miniatures. I find the quality's just not there for me. But when you look at resin, it's a different ball game. So there is 100% a resin printer in my future, but no, they're not. They're not good enough. They are for terrain. I use printable scenery, and I've printed a whole ton of printable scenery stuff, and it looks brilliant. No issues with it whatsoever. No supports needed. The quality's great, and both my printers can print off very nice terrain. So anyone who wants the 3D printer for terrain, don't go crazy. Just get a good FDM printer. And good is 250 quid. But yeah, you're not gonna do miniatures from that. No chance. Well, actually, that's not true. It depends on what you want them for. There are people on YouTube and that you can go and watch, and they do print miniatures which for them are good enough for things like D&D and other things, and they're perfectly happy with them. You know? So it really depends on but this, for instance, this dwarf, which is quite a simple model, this is 1980s level. I couldn't print this on an FDM printer, it would look awful. But Gaz from the site, or Noijatat as he's known, or Average Miniature Painter on Twitch, he has a resin printer and he's already printed me another gargoyle, so I can have two of these, one painted up for when it's alive and one painted in stone, because often when you come across the gargoyle in HeroQuest, it's yet to spring to life. Yes, the creator, they're a good model, yeah. Yeah, that ink just doesn't stand up, does it? Don't worry, man, it'll come. Where's my wildwood? Let's go with... There it is, wildwood. How long have we been going for? An hour and 45 minutes. So we'll definitely do 2 hours. See how far we get. I think in future what I'll do is probably start, if I am gonna, like I say, I don't always have a schedule. I try and stream as much as when I'm sat here painting, basically. But I think if I make a note that Sundancer does the thing on, it's Tuesday, right? So does that thing on Tuesday. I'll try and avoid streaming early on a Tuesday. Maybe come on a bit later. Maybe we can top and tail a little bit, so that people have got one thing to go from. Disappointed it was still flat. So I assume, Talon, you probably got on like a house on fire with Warren then, because I'm pretty sure he's convinced now that 15 mil is the you know, the best scale for anything. How did I come? By pure sort of, you know, when I got into the hobby like 5 years ago, doing a bit of looking around the internet, YouTubing various things, and then came across well, I came across two websites. One was Mini Wargaming, and the other one was Beasts of War. I actually really, when in the beginnings, I really liked Mini Wargaming. I watched that a lot more, and that's because of a guy called Ash Barker that was on it. But when he left Mini Wargaming, I was a bit meh, because he did most of the fantasy stuff. So when he left, I wasn't big into 40k at all. So when he left, the kind of fantasy left Mini Wargaming, and I know they've picked it up since. Obviously they've got other people involved now, but I still don't watch them much at all. So I helped support him when he wanted to create a channel. He did like a GoFundMe sort of thing, and became a Patreon and all that to get his own channel up and running, which is Guerrilla Miniature Gaming. So that's really cool. And then sort of drifted more and more towards Beasts of War, and I think I've been a backstager for those guys for must be 4 years now, I reckon. You know, I've been to the boot camps, been over to the studios a number of times. Yeah, so it's nice. It feels like a nice proper little hobby community, even though it's a bit remote for some people. It's a nice little thing. Yeah, I must admit, on the whole scale thing, I would have initially said no way am I playing anything less than 28mm. 28mm is small enough to paint as it is, let alone going even smaller. but since I've played Flames of War, I can see for that kind of slightly elevated look of the war, of sort of the battle, and how much more epic it can be at 15mm, because you can just do more stuff. You can see more of the battlefield. Everything feels a bit more epic. Then yeah, I'll agree. Mass battle, 15mm sounds pretty cool. But I don't know if I could say that for everything, because I've only ever played Flames of War, so I've not tried a fantasy game at 15mm, which would be interesting. What you should do, Tan, is send me some miniatures to paint on stream. Alright, wink. And then I get to know what fantasy's like on 15mm. I know Warren talks about like making 15mm saga fantasy. I think that's what he's doing now, I think. I should tell me war game when I was started interested. Yeah. I immediately, because they were the first people I saw who did like ridiculously high quality battle reports. So that's why I started watching mini wargaming. But I only ever watched the fantasy. I even joined the mini gaming wargaming vault. So I downloaded a whole bunch of the sort of painting videos and stuff like that. But it was the fantasy battle reports that I really enjoyed. And say when Ash left, that kind of went away because no one else did it. So now the only two people I watch is Beast of War and Gorilla. And a new guy who I've seen recently called Midwinter Minis, I think. He seems like a really nice guy and very talented. Does a lot of sort of speed painting type stuff that comes out really nice. Midwinter Minis. Oh, buddy, I might do that. I'll happily try something new. If we can get some 15mm fantasy, love to give that a try. The red one is that Red Grass Games. I've had this brush for absolutely ages, but it's always kept a really good point on it. But a lot of time I just use cheap rubbish. But yeah, Red Grass Games, they're the guys that did the slightly false advertising Everlasting Wet Palette. Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, but this brush, unlike the other one they do, so this is this one after several months, and it's completely lost its point. And I've cleaned it, waxed it. I can't get that to go back to a fine point. But the small one, there's the 00, is I don't know how good you can see, but that gets like a razor point on it. Really good. This one, the 2, is now just a wash brush or something like that now. But this I can definitely recommend. It's a shame the other one doesn't quite hold up. Well, I definitely like to take good care of it. It's not like I wreck it or anything. I have got some like fancy brushes, but I never use them because I always feel like I'm never going to do them justice, which is stupid because they're just brushes. But still, there we are. But I also think there is a bit of truth in it. You know, I know people that win all of the awards and are, you know, the world's best painters in this space. Most of them will tell you they just use pound, you know, or dollar store brushes. They don't use anything special. The brush is the brush. You don't need to go crazy. It can't replace skill or practice. But yeah, it is. This feels nice. It keeps a really sharp point. So for that reason, I can't really give it too much of a bad word. Yeah, exactly. As long as it keeps a good point. And if you buy cheap ones, when they're knackered, you don't feel so bad. You throw it out, it becomes a dry brush, and you know you're only going to pay £4 for a pack, like, you know, 10 brushes. I always used to pick them up at like if you go to a show, there'd always be like a guy there who sells just tons and tons of brushes, and you can buy a pack of 15 brushes for £5. Just pick those up. Yeah, so I mean, I've got these. You know, I've had these sat in my brush holder now for, I don't know, a year, maybe two, maybe even 2 years, and I've never actually ever used them. So Series 7, just sitting there because just like, oh, do I want to Not sure I want to use ruin a brush. I keep them for a rainy day, you know. There'll be some day where I feel like I've earned the right to use them. But not this day. Right, I'm going to head off in a sec because it's now 9:15. I'm going to go and see my wife. Should probably do that every now and then. So that means I won't finish this up on stream. Oh, Talon's saying hold on. Alexa announce. I'll be up in 5 minutes. I'm just finishing. Alexa announce. I'll be up in 5 minutes. I'm just finishing. Here we go. Oh, I need to copy all of that because it's not come through as a full-on link. Let me just copy that. Oh, too much. Oh wow, yeah, they're cool. Oh, I like those. Nice work. I like the hover tanks, the Grav APC. That's quite cool. Yeah, those are some nice models, man. That's some quality work. Right, that was my wife just calling on the old Alexa there. So let's finish up. Let's turn this down a little bit. Let's jump over to the other camera and I can show you what I've done. Let's go. Let's do this. Ready? Ready? Here we go. Will this work? Switch cams. Oh, here we go. Right. There we go. So, Dwarf's. There we go. The Dwarf's getting there. He's not finished yet, but he's not a million miles away. Right, and then we'll show you the elf. Oh, I can get my hand in the right place. Come on, camera. Oh, no, you're not going to do it. Come on. Come on, you silly camera. There we go. Oh, there we go. Yeah, so yeah, as like I say, that's all contrast, but with a bit of extra on top. So all the other minions, I'll grab you some little bits so you can see. 1 second. So these are all done in pure contrast. So this is just no layer painting or anything. This is just contrast on its own. Let me try and... Come on. Why do these cameras take so long? Come on. Focus. There we go. Oh, there we go. Oh. So that's just contrast on its own. And because there's loads of them, I haven't bothered doing anything special. And the same with the skeleton. Don't look at me, camera. Look at the skeleton. Look at the skeleton. Come on. You can get the gist. The only thing I did do was put some rust on his weapon. Anyway, you get the point. These are just come on. I know you want to. Come on. Come on, camera. Come on. Wakey wakey. Oh, sorry, I can't bother. Look in my Instagram, you'll see loads. So with the heroes and the bosses, I'm going to put more effort in and do them a bit more nicer. But with the minions, because they're on the table for 2 minutes and killed and then they reappear in another room, I wasn't going to spend a whole lot of time on them. So they are all contrast paints done on them. So yeah, have a look at my Instagram. It's below somewhere in this description. Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining. It was a quiet night to start with, but we ended on quite some good people. Yeah. I don't think we had any new follows tonight or anything. I don't think so. No. Yeah. So there we go. Thanks for the. Thanks for coming and saying hello, and I will see you next time. And we will be doing the Gargoyle, the last miniature in the HeroQuest game, and then we'll be all done. The furniture's all done. Everything's all done, and then we'll be moving on to something else. Signing out. Thanks everybody. I will see you soon. Cheers, Talon. I will drop you an email, my friend. But yeah, you're welcome back anytime. We'll be painting up stuff a number of times during the week, so feel free to come and say hello. Right, now we get to go to the new end screen. Stick around for the end screen. Are you ready? Goodbye, everybody. Bye bye.